no, sorry, with all 13 provincial government departments and all public entities from the 14th March 2023 to the 28th of March 2023. The KwaZulu-Natal legislature, which is vote number 2, was not part of the budget hearings conducted by the Finance Portfolio Committee because its functions are governed by the standing rules of this legislature. You know the standing rule I was referring to. Prior to each budget hearing, the committee received a comprehensive briefing from the Provincial Treasury Budget Analyst on each department and entity's budget. The pre-hearing briefings are very important in preparing and empowering the Finance Portfolio Committee to engage constructively with each department and public entities. The matters that were considered during this hearing. During the hearings, the departments and public entities had to respond to all the issues that were raised by the Provincial Treasury during the pre-hearing briefings, as well as to matters raised by the members of the Finance Portfolio Committee on the information contained in the estimates of provincial revenue and expenditure. The areas that the committee focused on include the underspending, rationalization of public entities, infrastructure budget expenditure, conditional grant funding expenditure, the specifically and exclusively appropriated funds, including the DDM and the payment to Izinduna, as well as the revenue collection. During the hearings, it was noted that many departments in the province have consistently failed to spend their voted budgets in full. Most of the underspending is found on the compensation of employees. This is because of the slow pace by these departments to fill the critical funded vacant posts. The non-filling of critical vacant posts that are funded has a negative impact on governance and delivery of services due to lack of sufficient capacity. The departments are urged to spend their allocated budgets in full by the end of the financial year. The non-finalization of the rationalization process continues to create uncertainty in many entities where officials that occupy critical posts such as CEOs and CFOs are acting. The Finance Portfolio Committee remains highly concerned about this and calls for the rationalization of entities process to be expedited to bring about stability and proper governance in entities and to improve the audit outcomes in these entities. The committee also noted that all departments were allocated substantial infrastructure development budgets for this current financial year. The committee urges departments to utilize their infrastructure development budgets in full. Further, departments are urged to set aside at least 5% of their annual infrastructure development budget for the maintenance of the existing infrastructure. On the conditional grant expenditure, the committee noted that some departments received reduced EPWP grant allocation from the National Treasury. This is concerning because EPWP grants contribute to the creation of employment opportunities in this province. Departments that are recipients of this grant are urged to ensure that they spend their grant funds in full and account for them accordingly so that the future allocations from the National Treasury can be higher. The Finance Portfolio Committee urges its sister portfolio committees in the legislature to closely monitor the spending of these conditional grants. On the DDM model, the Finance Portfolio Committee has been monitoring the expenditure of the district development model budget of 2 million that is allocated to each government department. This is specifically and exclusively appropriated funding, which many departments in the province either do not spend or it haphazardly spend them towards the end of the financial year. The committee urges departments to plan for this funding allocation carefully and ensure that